We are here at Geeking Out Star Wars Edition. I'm joined by the Sleaze and Y2 Just Incredible without the E, just like Geeking Out Network without the K. And here they are.
I came first.
He came first. Yes. He
original
won the
that's
race. And today we're going to be talking about the teaser trailer for Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker.
Fuck yeah.
Ah.
Fuck yeah!
It's a teaser, but it was like 18 minutes long, so it's sort of a trailer level, I guess.
Yeah.
It was 18 minutes long? Are you fucking high?
No, it was, 2 minutes? Something like that?
Oh, 9.
9.
But I
At least
consider that
9.
Actual trailer. Anything over a minute and a half is an actual trailer to me.
Yeah.
Sounds about right.
Right.
So right off the bat, what do you guys think about the title?
Go ahead, Justin.
Alright, so I really like the title. It's not like super interesting, like just reading it, but when you think about it, like the only Skywalker left, besides Leia, is Kylo Ren. He's half a Skywalker. So if this is telling me that Kylo Ren's going to be redeemed, I'm not going to be happy because I don't want that to happen. But is there something else lying in there in regards to the Skywalkers? Is Rey going to end up being a Skywalker? There's just a lot of ways that one title makes my mind go. So I enjoy it in that respect.
So, here's my thing. I was totally confused by it. But then I was doing some reading, and there was... I don't know if it was like an EU book or some shit like that. I probably should have wrote this stuff down. But at some point, like, I guess a group of Jedi were known as Skywalkers. So I'm wondering, with, The Last Jedi basically saying we need to end the Jedis, if they're starting, like, a new Jedi sect that are going to be called Skywalkers.
That's a way to go.
Right. I'm only going by the source that I read. I don't know if it was lineage to fucking Luke or Anakin or whatever the fuck, but at some point there was like a sect of Jedi called Skywalkers. So I don't know if they're going to delve into that, or, you'll find out Rey's a fucking Skywalker or some shit.
The thing that makes me nervous about that being probably what's going to happen is the deleted scene, deleted opening sequence from Force Awakens where JJ was playing an opening with Luke's hand floating in space.
Yeah.
The fact that Palpatine, who's, spoiler alert, now back apparently, had a Sith base under Jakku or something like that. I believe is what happened. So those two things put together, and her, being found on Jakku, might be Rey. I don't want it, but
Well, in the Aftermath books, they talk about that hidden base thing. And I forgot the guy's name, but it's actually like the guy that was raised by Palpatine from obviously pretty young, and was like his contingent plan, basically. So if something happened with the Empire, that he would take over and bring the remnants of the Empire to the unknown regions and all that shit. So there's definitely like a hidden base with like one of his Imperial shuttles there, and he had specific like instructions of what to do if shit went south, which obviously it did. So in the last Aftermath book, you could read about that a little bit.
So where the fuck is this guy?
He actually dies in the book.
Oh.
And there's actually a
fucking backup plan.
Well, there's a admiral that like wants to take over the Empire and thinks she deserves it, and ends up killing him with like her husband or some shit. Those books are pretty bad, so I wouldn't really recommend them. But if you want to read that story, at least you could, you know what it's from.
So it sounds like Macbeth, but Star Wars.
Yes.
Yeah, those books are fucking terrible.
But at least it explains a little bit, why they're in the unknown regions, and they had a, sort of a plan and shit like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the backup plan could have been grabbing Luke's hand from outer space and cloning him, essentially, is what a big theory out there is. So
Right.
It'll be interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, you gotta say though, if the Emperor is alive, the easiest way to survive in Star Wars is to jump down some fucking shaft. Because Darth Maul got cut in half, he survived somehow. Fucking Luke jumped down a shaft in friggin' the Cloud City, and he just fell and got saved by Leia and Lando. And the Emperor got thrown down a fucking shaft, and he's cool. He's great.
So what you're saying is, if I'm ever in trouble, just look for a shaft.
Yes, the bigger the better. In this case.
Oh, son of a bitch! I don't think the Emperor's alive. I think we're playing way too much into Palpatine with this, because if you think about it, in the trailer, you see remnants of either the first or the second Death Star. All right, so I'm thinking it's the second one, and I'm thinking that probably Rey stumbles upon a holocron or fucking some kind of recording of Palpatine. I don't know if, I mean, there's a lot of like desert shit in there, so maybe it has something to do with Jakku in the books. I don't know.
It'd be kind of cool if Palpatine's just Force Ghost haunting the second Death Star.
Yeah.
So that goes in there, you just hear Palpatine just laughing in your ear the entire time. Little cackle.
Yeah. All the annoying shit he said in Jedi.
Yeah, dark side. I mean, as far as I know, Darksiders can't, their Force Ghost shit is not a thing, even though Anakin became one somehow. But, who the fuck knows? I mean, obviously they're rewriting Force powers and all that shit with this trilogy, so, I mean, it wouldn't be that far-fetched to think that happens.
Yeah. I think we're it's a teaser, so there's not a lot of information. They wanted to show you shit, and that was about it. You get the cheap pop at the end with Palpatine. But yeah, like we were talking on the last show, I've watched it 13 fucking times, and I can't make dick sense out of a fucking second out of that fucking trailer.
I have a feeling it's sort of like the Last Jedi trailer, that it was a lot of misdirection and all that stuff. I know it was a different director and all that shit, but
right.
Obviously this isn't a linear path or scenes in the movie. It's just what they felt like picking and throwing together first and second and all that shit.
Right.
I think their goal, especially after the stupid backlash against Last Jedi, was to make you pop every 12 seconds.
Yeah.
So they just threw everything they had into the teaser trailer to get everyone talking excited about it.
Yeah. I agree.
The hype is definitely real, especially with
yeah.
Palpatine at least laughing. And then him coming out live at Celebration and shit. Obviously. So good. So a few things I'm just going to sort of go in somewhat order of the teaser itself. Just go over some shit. It's interesting that all three teasers start with showing heavy breathing, which is sort of weird. It was Finn, and then it was, I believe, Rey last time, and then this time. I heard your porn comment. I didn't just shit on it.
I know.
So that was just pointed out in one of the things I was going looking at. I'm not sure if that was obviously a choice for some reason. I'm not really sure why, but the next part you obviously notice Rey has Luke's lightsaber again, which was destroyed when her and Kylo fucked up the Praetorian Guards and essentially broke it in half with the Force. So somehow, some way, she repaired the thing, maybe from those books or something. And she also has Han's blaster, which is pretty cool. Which most Jedis just fucking rock a fucking lightsaber and that's it.
I've watched the trailer 7 times. How the fuck did I miss the blaster?
Yeah, I caught it the 5th time. I really did. I was like, holy shit. Yeah, it was real quick. If you weren't looking for something, you missed it.
All right, I'm gonna have to watch it again.
Gives you an excuse. And then you have Luke sort of, narrating or whatever over the trailer, saying, "We passed on all we know. 1,000 generations live in you now, but this is your fight," which obviously seems like it's to Rey. some promotion, maybe when he's a Force ghost talking to her. But how do you guys take that?
The line that got me interested, and I heard someone else talk about this too, is that 1,000 generations of Jedi live inside you right now. Do you think that JJ would go as far as to, like, somehow all like the spirits of the Jedi are within Rey, and then all the spirits of the Sith are within Kylo? Like kind of deal. Maybe that's how we're getting the Palpatine cackle at the end, because he's still like his spirit still lives inside Kylo.
Could be.
I mean, the like rule of two of the Sith was that it's better to have only two Sith to be pulling on the dark side. Then they would be more powerful. I mean, it could be the same thing with the Jedi. If there's only one right now, she's gonna be the most powerful because there's not all these beings pulling off that side or whatever. As far as like somehow being inside her, I'm not sure. But there is obviously midichlorian fuck with that Palpatine has done, and Plagueis as well. That's non-canon now, so I don't see why maybe some reason the Jedi couldn't figure out that power some way.
Well, you think about it too. In The Last Jedi, Yoda physically touched the outside world.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, and we're going back to like Obi-Wan being a Force ghost and da-da-da. They were like shimmers of shit, to a certain extent. Obi-Wan, when he was a Force ghost for the first time, he was just a spectrum talking to you. Well, actually, he was just talking, and then he was a visual talking, and then by Jedi, he was looked pretty fucking real. Even though he had the aura around him and shit like that. So I think this whole like afterlife or whatever the fuck is going on is progressing, because like I said, by Last Jedi, it was like Yoda was there and he could make a storm come out of the fucking sky. So maybe they figured out how to take their collective Force powers or whatever and put it into Rey, like Justin said. And at the same time, maybe Sidious is fucking walking around the afterworld, listening to Qui-Gon fucking talk his head off about this shit, and figured out his own stuff.
Well, him and Plagueis were trying to be immortal and stuff like that, so I'm sure they sort of came across some sort of Force ghosty level crap.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's not far-fetched at all. I mean, even in Return of the Jedi, Obi-Wan goes next to Luke and, like, sits next to him on a log.
Yeah, that's what I'm
So
talking
he does, like, interact with the outside world. He doesn't shoot lightning and burn down a fucking tree, but it's not that far-fetched. I mean,
Right.
you would think he'd be able to pick up something and throw it as well, or something like that.
Yeah, no, so I'm actually really intrigued about, because I think those two lines are going to be important. I don't know how. My thing's probably wrong. It's not like the main thing I think's going to happen, but I think it'll be like an interesting route to go down. But I'm really curious to watch the movie and see how those lines actually affect the end plot of the movie.
Yeah, there's tons of like Easter eggs and shit that, even from Force Awakens that happened in Last Jedi, and, even in like Rogue One, they talked about, being able to track ships through hyperspace, and all of a sudden they do it in The Last Jedi. So like there's all different shit from all the newer movies that eventually happened, so I don't see why there wouldn't be more of that.
And that's what's funny, is because I was actually thinking the other day, because we have like 8 months until this movie comes out, and I wanted to be like a super dork. And I wanted to watch all the movies, and I wanted to watch all the Clone Wars and all the Rebel fucking episodes, just to see if there's maybe something that they're including in this that we can get from like the past shit. And the best part about this is they're making the Force like totally fucking open at this point. Like anything can fucking happen.
Yeah, you can like Tupac hologram yourself all the way across the galaxy. You get Heisman Trophy, in outer space back into a spaceship.
Right.
So
anything's possible.
Yeah.
I mean, I go back to my theory of, the son, daughter, and father, or whatever.
Right.
that they had like in Rebels and in the Clone Wars. So it could be even like I don't know who would be the father necessarily, but it could be like Kylo Ren's the dark side. Um, Rey is the fucking light side or something, and then it's sort of like a balance that they're there to just work together or whatever, just to be both sides of different coin or whatever.
Well, if you look at it, Luke is the father. I mean, he's been on both spectrums to a certain extent, as far as thinking purely light side and somewhat thinking dark side. And he's gone through the progression of that whole thought process. So now he has two people in front of him. One of them's just fucking evil, and the other one is pure light. So if you're looking at that whole, father, daughter, son fucking trilogy thing, maybe they're going that route because they're, like you said, there's been a lot of talk on those two shows about that.
So what do you guys feel about the Rey flip over the TIE silencer?
So good.
Fantastic.
So badass.
It's funny, like people online are complaining, like there's no like reference of why the ship is coming down like that. But people are like, oh, of course they have to do shit like that just to make it look better instead of having the ship in outer space and shoot down at her or something like that. It's like, why are you picking this thing apart when there's literally 2 minutes of it and that's about, 10 seconds of the fucking thing?
We just went through this, Justin. With the people bitching and moaning online.
The very vocal minority. Like the way I put it is, out of 1 million people, there's 10 that are bitching, but they're the loudest motherfuckers in the room, so that's all you hear.
Right.
It's true.
They hate it, but they're the people that talk about it the most, so it's like...
Right, and they'll be the first ones to go to the fucking movie theater, so... Fuck off.
Do you guys have any theories of, like, that scene, or possibly having it be Kylo in this ship or anything?
The only reason why I think it might be Kylo is because there's no reason they would just show like the gloves and it looked like a special kind of TIE fighter. So, and there's no reason they wouldn't show his face.
Right.
But I think that's just a swerve. I think that's just to get everyone talking about it. I think it's just gonna be a badass scene.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't think it's Kylo whatsoever. I think that's a general fucking scene that just looks cool that they threw in to make you think like, oh, who the fuck is driving that thing and blah blah. I think it's just a regular fighter that's attacking her.
Yeah, it's Joe down the street.
Yeah.
I mean, do you think it could actually be just like a training sort of thing? Because it starts out with her breathing like crazy, and she sees the ship coming, and she starts running out of the way, and the perfect time she does the flip, and I mean, it doesn't seem like it, but it's possible she cuts off like the wing or something with the lightsaber because it is ignited. But
yeah,
I don't know, it's sort of weird.
Especially since he doesn't shoot at her. Like, why wouldn't you shoot? Why would you just try to...
Right. Yeah, good point. I didn't even think of that.
Because it could be like something like Poe or something, just like trying to like teach her, or not teach her, but just help her out with her training or something weird, or who the fuck knows. I was just thinking of like different ways of like trying to put this together as much as possible.
Well, it could be, Luke basically put himself into a fight in the last movie. It could be him from beyond just conjuring up a fucking TIE fighter for training,
Luke's now the Star Wars universe's like own personal CGI creator.
Yes. I like it.
Yeah. Who knows? I don't think it's a big deal, to be honest. I don't think.
No, probably not. But it's just, as usual, it's nice, fun to dissect these things and be totally wrong when the movie comes out.
Right.
Now, what do you guys think about Luke being like the narrator again for the whole thing? Do you think we're going to be getting a lot of Mark Hamill Force Ghost in it, or?
I think
there's rumors that even as a Force Ghost, he's still going to fucking like fight and shit in this. So there's been several like reports. Well, take them with a grain of salt that he's actually going to like physically do shit in this movie too.
I mean, I think they
just disappear.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, it was like bittersweet seeing that happen and him looking at the two suns like he's on Tatooine and all that shit in The Last Jedi. But I don't think he got his, he didn't get his due or something for the
Yeah.
franchise as a franchise. But I think it sort of fucked them in a way because, Carrie Fisher actually died. And as far as I understood, this was supposed to be her movie. Like, it was supposed to be Han Solo was Force Awakens, and then Luke was Last Jedi, and hers is supposed to be this one. So obviously that puts a wrench into things or whatever. So
Yeah.
they're gonna need some big character to sort of correctly send it off. I think from the originals. So that
It's
might
not
be him.
Lando.
No. Well, speaking of Lando, did you actually watch like the stream before they announced or they showed the teaser and stuff of him talking?
After the fact, yeah, I couldn't live stream because I
It
was
wa-
at work.
it was
but I
pretty
watched it.
bad. Like he's hurting. I mean, he did make some funny remarks. Like he basically said like all these people to this day say that I fucking fucked over Han Solo. And he's like, I take that to heart. He's like, but you got to think about it. Did anyone fucking die? And it's
Right.
like, oh man. But you could tell like they were just waiting to get to the next guest. Like they just wanted to get past him. But
Well, he's like the drunken uncle, at a party.
right,
He seemed drunk. He seemed messed up when he was talking.
yeah,
Hilarious. but-
That's how he is too in real life. Like whenever he's been on like shit, like interviews or anything, he's fucked up.
he sounds just like Lando though. Still, it's fucking
Oh, yeah.
great.
That's all he's got. That and Colt 45. You know.
Speaking of that, I mean, the next sort of scene anyway is him in the Falcon with fucking Chewbacca, which is pretty awesome to see.
Yeah.
And I'm already seeing some memes of, from Solo that, young Lando says to Solo, "Oh, I'm going to get my ship back." And Solo's like, "Over my dead body." And then old Lando's laughing and in the freaking Falcon. So it's pretty funny.
Well, rumor has it too. The cloak he's wearing is the actual cloak that Daniel Glover was wearing in Solo.
Oh, nice.
Oh, no shit.
It's the physical cloak, which is cool.
So the next, I think I'm not sure if it's the next scene, but the next scene of interest for me at least was you see Kylo Ren actually fixing his mask, like laser sketching, putting pieces together or some shit. I thought it was pretty cool looking and something different that you haven't really seen in Star Wars.
Yeah, was he? So, I paused it and I couldn't really see exactly what. Was he just soldering it together back
Yeah.
there? Or was he making designs on it?
No, I think he was soldering it.
All right.
So
Because obviously it got smashed in The Last Jedi, so apparently he
Right.
swept it up and kept it for later or something. I'm not sure.
or
But
the fucking janitor picked it up.
yeah.
He's like, oh, just in case,
I think that's sort of like a swing at Ryan Johnson or something though, because I have a feeling J.J. Abrams didn't want that to happen, so he needed a way to like bring back the mask. But this is
Yeah.
just totally my own rumor thing, but it just sort of made me think that when I saw it.
Well, maybe he's fixing what he ruined. He didn't ruin it.
But yeah, that would definitely be right if when he fixes it, there's like a little line in there that has a middle finger, so every time he wears it, he's flipping off crap.
So
No,
the-
The Last Jedi was great.
Some of it.
It was a good movie. It just didn't belong in this trilogy.
Yeah.
So the next cash grab is the rolling hair driver, Dio. What do you guys think about that new droid that they showed?
It looks like a fucking cold air filter for a car.
The top looks like the vacuum that you used to use in 1990 when you're cleaning up your carpet.
Right.
I feel the same way that the audience felt about it, because when he got introduced, there was like no pop whatsoever.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. BB-8 was enough. You know what I mean? You didn't need like a sidekick.
Well, I was
Yeah.
really hoping somehow they brought in at the end of Star Wars Resistance, the animated show. there was another BB unit that got close to BB-8 that sort of took his place when he finally went back with Poe. I was hoping some way, somehow, that was like the droid they were going to introduce, because there seemed to be like some chemistry there or whatever.
Yeah.
But sadly, it didn't happen.
This one looks like a real piece of shit.
It
You know,
does.
it's just a head and a fucking wheel. Like, that I don't know. I'm not impressed.
No,
you got
it's-
BB-8 that's all like fucking high tech and shit, like a high tech fucking R2D2, and then you got this piece of shit.
When I watched the stream, J.J. Abrams literally said, "This is the first time we're seeing this because they just threw this together." I
Right?
was like, couldn't tell.
Yeah. Not at all. Terrible. He might be cool.
Yeah.
To somebody else.
But like I said, it seemed like just a cash grab or whatever.
That's more toys.
Yes.
He always need a new toy.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if you guys noticed it, but there was some stormtroopers with jetpacks on. It seemed like they were chasing Poe and I think C-3PO on that fucking whatever they're on,
Got
on the
skiff.
ground, the skith or whatever. It was like a very small scene, but I thought it was cool that stormtroopers in so-called live action actually have jetpacks on,
Yeah.
because they did in Rebels, trying to fight off the rebels on freaking Star Destroyer and shit like that. But I think that'd be pretty cool if they do show more of that in the movie.
It only took them like 50 years after Boba Fett died to realize that's a cool thing to have.
Yes, this is useful.
Like they couldn't shoot fucking, to begin with. Now they got to worry about shooting while flying.
Right.
It's a good idea.
The next thing of interest was Leia's holding. Well, I think it's Leia's holding the Medal of Bravery, which, if you guys don't know, it was awarded to Luke and Han at the end of New Hope.
Not Chewie.
Not Chewie for some reason.
Not Chewie.
He just yelled because he was pissed.
Fucking racist.
So I don't know if that's like Han's and she's just like reminiscing, or she's gonna give it to someone else, or what the hell the case may be. But I thought that was a good like throwback to the original trilogy.
I didn't even know that was the medal up until I read that. And like I said, I've watched it 13 times.
Well, you
I
don't.
was like, they were holding it, and I'm just like, yeah, cool. It's fucking, maybe it's a Jedi thing, or I didn't put that together in my head.
It lingered on there for a hot second too.
Yeah.
Like they really wanted to point that out. I think that's gonna be another big plot point.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think you really like in A New Hope. Do you really see the medal up close or anything?
Right.
So
Maybe
it's
that's why they
like,
did-
especially if it's just pretty much the medal. It's not even like the the necklace or whatever with it.
Right.
So it's a little different.
Yeah.
When I first saw it, I originally thought it was like Rose's like completed necklace. Now her and Paige had like different sides.
Right.
I thought that maybe that's what it was at first, but then I was like, wait, that's something different. And then, I figured it out, sort of thing.
I thought maybe someone had cereal, and that was the toy.
I'd buy that box.
I was like, wow, that's a good toy.
Like an early '90s McDonald's toy, which were actually awesome,
Right.
Yes.
instead of like the plastic fake shit they got now.
Right. You're actually excited to get a toy.
Right?
So I know we mentioned a little bit earlier, but it seems like they come across like the old piece of the Death Star or Death Star 2 or something.
Fuck yeah.
So I assume that would be near Endor. So there's potential some Ewok sightings,
Ewoks.
which would be ridiculous. Like if somehow like they throw this all together, like there's some fucking Ewoks chilling out. There's like
Listen, I
Wicket
will
hanging
mark-
out.
I will mark the fuck out if I see an Ewok. I'm putting that on record. All right? If I see Wicket, I will mark the fuck out.
What will you do if they sing the Yuck Yuck song?
I will sing with them.
Yes, stand up.
It's to the point that you get beyond the bullshit with the Ewoks, and you fucking love that shit.
Hey, they saved the rebellion. That's all I gotta say.
No shit. They should come back for the end.
They're fucking savages too.
They
Yeah.
are.
They were gonna eat them.
Yeah, little fuckers.
So 3PO fucking saved them.
God.
I want to see Ewoks.
Yes.
All right. If I don't see Ewoks in this movie, now that we're talking about it, I'm gonna be pissed.
I want to see Ewoks actually eat someone.
Yes.
Because they were walking around with the helmets of like fallen stormtroopers, and I'm pretty sure the heads were still in those helmets.
Yeah. They ate the rest of the bodies.
Yeah, I want to see them dismember someone or eat someone.
Yeah. Little fucking evil fucking teddy bear bastards.
I don't want a PG Ewok, alright? I want a
No.
hard PG-13.
Right. I want a blood-soaked Ewok.
Carry after prom.
Right. Just eating somebody's hand.
Well, what's funny about that is in like the miniseries Forces of Destiny or whatever,
Do they eat people?
pretty much Syndulla is on Endor, Hera, talking to like Princess Leia or something, and they like the Ewoks are there and they're like pushing like the survivors of the stormtroopers to their base. That we can all assume that they're going to go fucking cook them and eat them,
Fuck
which
yeah.
is fucking hilarious that they put that in there.
Oh, part of the movies and shit I'm watching, by the way, is gonna be the 2 fucking Ewok movies.
I was just about to bring that up because I didn't know when I was a kid that I wasn't supposed to like those movies, and I actually saw those before I saw Star Wars.
The Battle of Endor was the shit. I don't care.
And I was like, oh! Because when I so I watched those first. I think I was like 4 or 5, and then I watched Star Wars after that. I was like, oh, those are from the movie.
Right?
So I thought Star Wars was the sequel to the Ewok movies.
What a better sequel.
I was actually trying to find the Christmas special, but I couldn't find it, sadly.
It's on my Fire Stick.
Okay.
I have it. I
you
have
should
so much
probably
Star
give
Wars
that
shit
to
on
me.
there. I think what we should do, all right, collectively, is just take a month out of work, all right, and just go through the catalog I have on my Fire Stick. It's insane. Christmas, they got Resistance, Clone Wars, Rebels, all the fucking movies, the 2 Ewoks. They even got fan-made shit, the Lego movies, everything.
The Lego movies and shows are fucking ridiculous. It's so funny.
They're terrible, but I'm
Yes.
still gonna watch them.
If you cover my bills for that month, I am in.
All right, I'm gonna get to sucking.
More than usual.
This is like finally.
Yes.
Took him long enough to come out. I was
So,
only here for the money until I realized he had none.
Yeah. She ain't with me for my money, I'll tell you that.
so basically, the second to last part of this teaser is Luke says, "We always be with you. No one's ever really gone." And then the Emperor does his little cackle thing. But how do you take what Luke says?
No one's really gone. I don't think they're gonna do it, but I think that kind of reinforces like that weird concept I had earlier with the thousands of Jedi live within you, and then no one's ever really gone. Like, I think that Jedi are using her as like a way to keep themselves around. So like the Sleeve said, the Force ghosts are getting more powerful. Yoda lit some tree on fire. Like, maybe they're using her as like a conduit for them to come back into the real world and be able to actually interact with people. Obviously not alive still, but like super real Force ghosts.
Could you imagine, like, if this was the case, the light side and dark side, could you imagine, like, Ewan McGregor coming back, Hayden Christensen coming back, right? Fucking, you got Yoda, you got fucking Luke. Let's say, you know, you got fucking Palpatine coming back, you got Darth Maul coming back, like, all these dead Jedi and Sith, like, showing up from the old movies, like, having this big fucking epic battle.
Now, where's my Count Dooku?
And Count Dooku, Darth Bane, Darth Revan, come on! I'd seriously, I'd bust a nut right in my pants. And I'm not joking. I actually would.
and he beats both Anakin and Obi-Wan Kenobi in 2 battles.
Wow.
Twice.
Twice. Shit.
And fought off Yoda. Yoda would have won, but fought him off.
Right.
You must have missed our last. Must have missed our last cast because we talked about the last battle with Dooku and how Sidious was part of, helped him out and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, fuck.
But either way, but you know, throughout the movies, shows, etc., the Jedi is always constantly saying, you know, we're not gone, we're just becoming one with the Force when our bodies are dead. So, I mean, obviously, they're still part of midichlorians and all that bullshit. They're still in the Force and still going through the streams of the Force, whatever you want to put it. So they're definitely still out there. So they figured out a way to sort of use, like you said, use Rey as their focal point to power her up or something. That'd be pretty cool to, you know, tie everything together, so to speak.
Yeah, and it would explain why she picked everything. Like, I'm not one who bitches about this, but when people bitch about her picking up how to be a Jedi so quickly, it would explain why her process was quicker than others.
Right. Yeah, but so was Luke's. You know what I mean? There wasn't a lot of time that Luke got trained by fucking Obi-Wan and friggin' Yoda. He was Force sensitive, you know?
Right. I'm almost thinking this could be nothing to do with Star Wars. Meaning that it's like a throw to, like Carrie Fisher. Like, that's how, because the way they were talking, like, on the stream and shit, like, they just sort of, you know, just all praising her and everything. It's never going to be the same. She's always with us, sort of thing. Like, how perfect would it be if this has nothing to do with, like, the actual movie, but it's just to honor her, sort of thing. Which is Star Wars related, but more her as a person than, you know, Leia in the movies. So that would be pretty cool if somehow that was the meaning for it or whatever.
Yeah, I can dig that.
Could be.
You're not gonna make me cry.
I would think there's, not to sound like an asshole, but I would like to believe that there's more thought into that. You know? I mean, it is nice in a sense. Maybe if they did something after, like, oh, fucking, I don't know. But I want that to be part of the fucking story. You know?
You heartless Scrooge.
Well, yeah. Call me the sleaze. I mean, Jesus.
You have a shirt.
I have a shirt.
Makes it official.
Jesus. Got my own Twitter.
So that's pretty much the end of the teaser. I mean, what are you guys expecting from episode 9? Now that at least a teaser has been out, there's a little bit more information about it. Obviously, a trailer is coming. It's still 25 months away and all that shit.
I expect nothing right now until we get maybe like a foundation trailer. So this is like a hype trailer. I'm looking for a foundation trailer that gives obviously not like the entire plot, but like kind of the feel of the movie. So I besides my crazy 1,000 Jedi living inside Rey, which sounds kind of dirty. That's my only like big thing that I think might be able to happen from the teaser. But I'll be singing a different tune probably when I see the actual trailer.
That's the thing is this was a shock and awe trailer. You know what I mean? Like, oh, look at all the flashy stuff, and it really didn't say anything. Even with the most vague like teaser trailers, to be honest, you can pick up on something. And to be honest, I've watched it numerous fucking times, and I can't figure out what the fuck they're doing. Like, in a good way. In The Last Jedi, you know, when the teaser trailer came out, and Luke said, like, oh, the Jedi have to end. You're like, what the fuck? Like, you know what I mean? So this is pretty much the premise of the movie. With this one here, there's nothing. All you know is that Palpatine all of a sudden showed up. We knew Lando was coming back. You know at this point Rey's going to be a badass Jedi. You know that Kylo's going to be pissed off and make his fucking mask again. But I really have no fucking idea what direction they're taking this in. No clue.
I'm with you, brother.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I mean, I made a cast about expectations of episode 9 or whatever, which I'll post at the end of this episode once it's posted. But a lot of that shit has already been turned on its head because who the hell, in their wildest dreams, I'm sure there's no rumor or anything that the Emperor is going to come back. Like, who the fuck would ever think that? Or even, like, somehow a holocron, someone goes in the Death Star and he's just there laughing at himself for fucking 50 years now, or whatever the case may be. Like, who would have ever thought that was going to be a thing?
Well, they, there was obviously rumors ever since they finished Last Jedi about Episode 9 and all that stuff. There were rumors that Hayden Christensen was coming back, that fucking Ewan McGregor were coming back, and you take them all with a grain of salt. So there were even rumors that, Palpatine was coming back, but he was going to be a Force ghost, and there was a holocron, and da-da-da, and that's what I'm going by. I never thought in 1,000 fucking years that I would hear him laugh at the end of that fucking trailer. Because you take all the shit with a grain of salt. You know what I mean? There's nothing that has been concrete where it says like, oh, well, a grip guy from the fucking set said that, Ian McDermott is fucking on set and da-da. There was nothing concrete. Everyone was saying like, oh, well, fucking this guy's, Gardner said to this guy, blah, 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 that maybe, I don't know, Palpatine might come back. So to hear him laugh at the end of that was like, fuck, you didn't see it coming.
So I kind of changed my mind completely right now. So I don't even think that Palpatine's back. I think that when they go inside Death Star 1 or Death Star 2, that they're going to walk into, like, the rec room of the Death Star, and just on a broken TV is, like, one of, like, those homemade videos. And that's just, on a loop, just, like, it's just him laughing. It starts over again, and then him laughing, and then starts over again.
Boy, that will piss the marks off.
I really want them to do that now.
All those guys bitching about the trailer, that's going to piss them off.
Well, in the Battlefront game, they actually have something like that. The Emperor is like in some droid head thing talking or something.
Right.
So it's really not that far-fetched if like something like that could happen. That'd be great.
Or there was another thing I read. They were bringing fucking Plagueis back into this. They said, since he was a big midi-chlorian fucking experimental, person and all that shit. They said, well, think about this. Maybe at some point Plagueis put himself into Palpatine, okay? And then somehow Palpatine, he dies on the fucking Death Star and all this stuff. Somehow Kylo Ren finds fucking Palpatine and gets fucking possessed or whatever by Plagueis. Like, they're really still trying to pull Plagueis into this shit. No, they were going from Snoke to fucking Kylo Ren. That somehow Snoke stumbled upon fucking the Emperor dead in the Death Star or whatever, and basically Plagueis' essence took him over, and then Snoke knew that fucking Kylo was going to kill him and shit because he was grooming him because he needed another body to jump into. It's like the whole fucking, Jason Goes to Hell bullshit where Jason was jumping into fucking bodies left and right. So that was another fucking far off theory.
And that is the secret of how they lived forever.
So maybe it's something like that. Plagueis jumped into the Emperor jumped into Snoke into Kylo. And I fucking don't know.
Sounds like a Saturday night worth going to.
Right, it's like a big gay orgy going on with the dark side.
So a few things I'm thinking about now. One, they never, which I don't really need it myself, they never explained how Kylo Ren got Vader's mask. Obviously, it was like burned on the pyre and all that you see at the end of the Return of the Jedi. So somehow, maybe, I don't know, maybe Luke told him where it was. Like who the hell knew that even existed besides Luke? Like where he burnt the body and all that stuff.
Yeah, but you think about it, it's on a planet of savages. They don't give a shit about that crap. So, Luke burns fucking Vader's body. He could have just been left there. Maybe Kylo is being inquisitive, and says, "Well, I want to go to." He's so got a fucking hard on for Vader. I want to go to the spot where he died, supposedly. Stumbles upon it, and that's it. I don't know.
Well, Luke probably. I always thought that Luke kept it because Kylo and Luke were training and stuff like that for a long time, and Luke probably just kept it just to remind himself what happens when you let your emotions get the better of you.
Right.
Maybe.
Do you think Anakin's burnt skull was in there too? Because that's fucked up.
Hopefully.
Listen, he spent a lot of time with the Ewoks, so he's got a little savagery in him.
Yeah. Or maybe the Ewoks after Luke burned them up, they're like, hey, it's ready to go fucking dinner. And they ate fucking Anakin.
Nothing like a barbecue after a battle, baby.
Jesus.
There wasn't much to eat, though. That's for sure.
Right.
With
Crispy.
with the Emperor thing, though, I don't even think he was announced that he was going to be at Celebration, was he? That
No.
you know of?
Nope.
So that was like, obviously no one knew he was going to be in the teaser. He wasn't even announced to be at the Celebration. So this shit was under wraps for, from the get-go.
No, this one they're holding fucking tight to the chest.
Yep.
Big time tight. I think there's more to come. I think the Emperor, they might be totally fucking with us. Like everyone's like, oh yeah, that's the big deal right now. That might not even be the biggest deal of this fucking movie. Because like I said, there's 100 fucking rumors. Hayden Christensen all of a sudden is showing up to Celebration, and you know what I mean? There was rumors that fucking he was going to be a part of this movie.
Right.
Which I think would be fantastic.
He went to Celebration last year.
Right. I mean, he has stepped away from Star Wars so fucking, he pushed that shit aside, and all of a sudden he's a part of it. So.
I mean, I think it's too convenient that they, Luke says, no one's ever really gone, and then the Emperor's fucking laughing. I mean, that seems too ridiculous. Like, oh, this is straightforward. Haha, he's back.
I want a scene where Hayden Christensen shows up as a Force ghost and goes to Kylo Ren and says, stop being a fucking idiot. You know what I mean? Like, to a certain extent. Obviously
Yes.
written better. But, like, hey, you fucking idolize me and all this shit. Like, if they're going to do a scene with him, I think that would be an excellent fucking scene. Where it's like, okay, I went down the path, and that's all you know of me and all this shit. But, there was a good guy before and a good guy after. That would be a fantastic way to bring him back.
Yeah, the only thing wrong with that, though, is that...
He can't act? No.
He's gonna
No, I
get
know.
these.
No, I know.
Takers. So, Kylo doesn't believe in Anakin. He believes in Darth Vader. So if Anakin
Right.
shows up looking like Anakin, Kylo's just going to be like, dude, you're what killed my mentor.
Right. But here's the bigger hard-on. What if he shows up to him in a vision as Vader first? Right?
As long as if we can get if we can get another like Rogue One moment of badassery, I'd be so cool with that.
Fuck yeah. Maybe, yeah. Holy shit. I really think I'm gonna have to wear like 3 pairs of underwear during this movie.
It's probably better just to wear nothing, just let it go on the floor. I mean, the floor is already sticky as it is, so...
Yeah. It's just butter.
Yeah.
Boy butter.
It's mayonnaise. But I mean, that could be definitely no one's ever really gone thing. If they just have like Force goals left and right, just throwing down and coming back, talking to people and all this shit. That way, Ewan McGregor and all those other things could be coming back, and it would make sense.
Oh, I'd love it. Like usually I wouldn't be so excited for like old characters coming back, maybe in this kind of sense or anything. But if they brought back all the key members of like the old movies, like the Hayden Christensen, fucking Ewan McGregor, obviously fucking Palpatine's coming back. Throw in a Dooku. No, he's dead, right? Is fucking Christopher Lee dead?
Yes.
Fuck, you
But
can't
if
bring
it's
Dooku.
not-
I think it was like a year ago, right?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. He's
Yeah. So Dooku can't come back. But,
No.
no.
yeah.
Yeah, he's done for, and obviously Sir Alec
I'm
Guinness
fucking
as well.
sure you guys make me sad.
Hey, and one of the biggest ones we're forgetting, Mace Windu.
I mean,
Fuck
Mace,
yeah.
he did say he always want to come back, but I don't really feel he is a big character. Like,
No, but just for the sake of it.
Yeah.
Fuck it.
he should come back with the black shocked off him. Just like we said, the Last Jedi
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
With no hands.
I think that they should end this if they're going to do cameos and not oversaturate it. Okay? Do the same thing they did in Jedi. At the end of Jedi, you saw Obi-Wan, you saw Yoda, you saw Anakin as Force Ghosts. Yay! Fucking credits. Let's see all the fucking old Jedis as ghosts fucking come back. Like in the hundreds. You know what I mean? The main characters up front. Fucking, you got the Mace Windu, Kit Fisto, fucking Plo Koon, all those motherfuckers.
Plo Koon.
In front. Yeah.
It sort of reminds me of like Lord of the Rings when all like the spirit knights come and talk to the king and shit like that. That'd be sick if like there's one guy, there's Yoda there, and then all the other fucking Force Ghosts come up behind him.
Yep.
That'd be sick.
Perfect.
I'll sign up for that.
Yep.
Just
Love it.
2015.
Oh wow, it was fucking 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Shit.
That's better.
Right before that, he made a death metal CD. You know that, right?
Did you really?
Yeah, look it up.
That's what caused it.
That's what caused it.
All right, so that's pretty much all I have for. I'm sure we'll get together again once the trailer or some big news comes up. You guys have anything else you want to go over as far as this teaser or anything?
Bill Burr shooting a laser in the Mandalorian, baby.
Oh yeah. The new trailer for the Clone Wars, fucking great.
It is. I agree.
Darth Maul just can't stay away.
I'm happy though. I'm such a huge Darth Maul fan. Like it's fucking
yeah.
great.
He's gonna be in this. I don't give a shit.
And Ahsoka
Yep.
comes back to the friggin' order and stuff. It seems like.
If they're gonna, my last thing is, if they're gonna pull everything together, and that's what J.J. Abrams has been saying, is that this movie is gonna tie everything together. You have to have these major fucking players in this. The Ahsokas, the fucking, like what's his face from fucking Rebels, like something. You have to have all these fucking people. I don't give a shit. Disney's got the money to pay all these people for cameos. Get everybody you can.
I mean, you figure like the Merle or whatever hell you say it that they had at Celebration. Everyone was like live action-y painted. It wasn't like
Right.
cartoony. So you could see Kanan and we don't know what happened to Ezra, and I think they're going to be pushing that forward as well with a different story.
Yeah.
But if Kanan comes back, that'd be pretty fucking sweet too.
Fuck yeah.
So yeah.
Long
just want-
story short, I am excited.
Yes.
Big time. Big time. I'm more excited about this than probably The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi. Just because I know what it really means. You know what I mean? It's the end of this saga. I think they're really going to pull out all the fucking stops for this, which gets me excited. Obviously with Palpatine. So yeah, I want to see Han Solo as a fucking Force Ghost. I don't give a shit.
Which Han Solo? Harrison Ford or Aaron Reich? Alden Reich.
Come on.
Is that a real question?
What's that?
No, I said, is that a real question?
Oh yeah, no, that was not a real question.
Okay, good.
I know we don't want to see the mutt of Indiana Jones version of Han Solo on screen again.
Yeah. He was good, but you're playing Han Solo. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were cut out for you. I actually really enjoyed that movie though.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right,
All
so
right, fellas.
that's where we'll end. And like I said, we'll be back, I'm sure, when there's more information or a teaser or a fucking trailer. Or we have 8 months, so.
Yeah.
And I
It's a lot of
believe
fucking time.
we are planning on doing a live reaction after we see this fucking movie. So obviously, set your
Hopefully
calendars.
This time we won't be getting back to the house at 3 o'clock in the morning to start their live reaction.
Yes,
Yeah.
that will be
Let's get
ideal.
tickets a little bit earlier this time.
I
Yes,
didn't think that part through.
yeah. You live and you learn, right?
Right.
All right, with that, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching, everyone. That's the Sleaze. Go Y to Just Incredible here. Pointing. Geeking out!
I'm dragging.
Dragon.
Dragging.
You're a
Funny
dragon.
face.
Yes.